back, everyone, to our Groundskeeper Chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, coming live to you from Louisville, Kentucky at the PGMS show. I have my fourth guest of the day, or as I affectionately called him, my fourth victim of the day, Mr. David Hart, DJ Hart from the City of Brewer. And you will quickly know where Brewer is located once Mr. Hart introduces himself.
My name is David Hart. Everybody knows me as DJ, including the vendors and people that I work with. I've had that name since I was a little kid growing up.
Junior, I assume?
No.
Okay.
So my dad is David John. I'm David Joseph.
Oh, look at that.
So I got I'd rather be DJ than Junior.
Yes.
Any day of the week.
Yes.
So anyways, my backstory to how I got into this profession is I started when I was 15.
Okay.
Mowing.
That's early. That's an early intro to the turf industry.
Yes. So I worked at one of the cemeteries.
Okay.
So I got my foot in the door at the Brewer Parks and Rec, which is Brewer is located right next to Bangor.
Okay.
So if you've flown into Bangor, Maine, we're the town right next to it. We're about 9,000 people.
Okay.
But like I tell people, our recreation and parks department is built really to service a community of like 40,000.
Wow. Okay.
So we're very fortunate to have a council and a city manager that really promote parks and recreation and facilities.
Yeah.
So I started at 15 working in a cemetery, paid my dues, worked my way up through high school, through college, went to the University of Maine, became a teacher, taught pre-algebra and algebra.
Okay.
Yes, and I enjoyed that. And then my summer vacations was working at a different cemetery in the city because we have 3 cemeteries.
Okay,
and
cool.
So 40 hours a week. It was my chance to kind of de-stress from the classroom and be outside and enjoy the beautiful Maine summers. I enjoyed that job, enjoyed all the cemetery visitors and all of that, and tried to do the best that I could.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, teaching was not becoming the passion that I thought it would be, and more the parks and cemetery side of things and athletics became my true passion.
I love it.
Which was always like my plan B.
Yep.
But plan B quickly became plan A after about 15 years of teaching.
I love it.
So I got a job as the Parks and Cemeteries foreman, and then eventually my former superintendent retired, and I was asked to take over for him. And I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot from the different people that I was able to network with growing up. And so I developed a lot of really good contacts. And now here I am at PGMS.
Here you are.
Yeah.
And so you talk a little bit about network and how that played a role in your career. How has being involved in groups like this really impacted that overall roadmap of yours?
It's very valuable. I mean, I guess I'm 52 years old, so I could sit here and say, I've been there, done that.
Yep.
This isn't my first rodeo.
Yep.
And not go to any conferences ever again. But I always feel that you should take the opportunity, if you have that, to go to these conferences, see some of the people that are still doing it and touch base with them, see some of the new people, get to meet new faces, see what the new technology is, whether it's robotic mowers or, in our case with the municipal pool, the robotic pool vacuums and anything like that.
Cool,
yeah. And just sometimes just to validate what you're doing is what you should be doing.
Yep.
Or ways to save time, or staff shortages, or that's what I love about these conferences. They kind of tie everything in together to really make it worth your time.
Exactly.
Giving up a week to come down here, and just make it a really enjoyable experience.
Definitely. And what is your job at the City of Brewer oversee? Is it athletics and grounds? Is it one or the other? What does that really encapsulate?
I like to say I wear many hats, and those hats can change by the minute.
I love it.
So I'm the Superintendent of Park, Cemeteries, and the Waterfront.
Okay.
So in our city, we're located along the Penobscot River, which is the highest tidal river on the East Coast.
Okay.
So the tidal change is about 17 to 18 feet every 6 hours.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was in Ireland this summer.
Yeah.
And we were staying on a river, and same thing, where the tide came in and out, and there would be boats fully just in the mud at certain parts of the day and then floating the next. It was crazy.
We're not quite like that, but our river walk at times more so during the winter, will flood.
Okay, wow.
And we'll have ice chunks that are the size of a bus
Oh my
up
gosh.
on the walkway, and then you wait 6 hours, and that big chunk of ice is gone.
Wild.
And so it's amazing. I have
really,
pictures.
Your job changes with the tide.
It does. It does.
As the tide comes in and out. That's incredible.
Yeah. So I have 3 cemeteries that we oversee. So we arrange all of the burials and things like that, and work with all the funeral homes. The city kind of took those cemeteries over from a company that went belly up.
Okay.
But then I also have all the athletic fields. So I go from cemeteries to athletic fields to parks and playgrounds.
Crazy.
To the waterfront to a municipal swimming pool. So you kind of have to have a baseline of knowledge in all of those things with the willingness to learn all of those things as well and keep growing and have a really wealth of knowledge for a lot of different things. So I'm kind of happy to have that opportunity, that I'm not just doing athletic fields, I'm not just doing playgrounds or the waterfront or just cemeteries. I oversee all of it, and I enjoy it. It makes my days very exciting.
Well, and how many opportunities you have to touch someone's day or their life journey, really. I think of all the times in my life, in probably 15 years ago, I wasn't going to a playground at all. Yeah. Now I've got 2 kids. I spend every single day there. And and how that impacts my day to day. And then I think of athletic fields. My son, for the first time, played rec soccer.
Oh, wow.
This past year. I'll have to show you. I'll just show it to you right now so we can get your reaction on air. This is how we ended the season. The colors of the rainbow on his eye there.
Oh, yes. Hopefully that was a ball meets the eye, not a cleat or an elbow.
It was an elbow. Yeah. And I'll tell you, he was already having a wild impression of sports. He didn't see the field the entire season because he refused to go out on the field.
Okay, well, that happens.
And when you're the coach's kid, it's like, come on, I'm doing this for you, dude. But anyway, my entire fall was spent on sports fields in all the memories that we were building there. But then also when you mentioned cemeteries, of course that's a job, but you don't think about it. And that represents so many of our, partners here and all of our members here, that it's these magic elves working in the background. And really with cemeteries, how, imagine being a family member coming to visit, your loved one, and it being overgrown or completely disheveled. How that would tarnish your experience. Well, an already really difficult experience.
Yeah. Well, that's what is fortunate about my job and what I'm able to maintain and oversee. Mm-hmm. I love dealing with our athletic director. I love dealing with the different youth organizations that use our athletic fields. I love just dealing with the general public when it comes to our waterfront and all that. Yeah. But then you have something that always keeps you grounded in the cemeteries. Yeah. And the experiences that I have, I could write a book on the stories and things and the interactions that I've had. And you think, okay, it's an emotional time, but I'll tell you what, there's some funny moments that I have just in my interactions with people and stuff. And then there's some real heart-wrenching moments. I'll give a brief story real quick. And I actually use this in my interview when I interview people to work here for the City of Brewer Parks and Rec Department, is because you don't take things for granted. Yeah. You don't know the impact that you make on somebody's life, whether it's a kid wanting to be out on a soccer field or somebody enjoying the time and peace and quiet on the waterfront. Yeah. We had a cemetery visitor. Her husband died. They were married 50 years. Wow. And this was back when I was teaching, and I was just maintaining this particular cemetery. Well, she would come up every day at 9 o'clock, put out the Bangor Daily News, have a cup of coffee, sit by the gravestone every day after he passed away. And so me being nice and outgoing, I'm just, hi, how are you today? Beautiful day. Mm-hmm. How are things going? Just small talk. Didn't think anything of it, but just, you want to be a friendly face. And so I called her a regular visitor. Yeah. Well, the next summer, it was every couple of days. Mm-hmm. No newspaper, no cup of coffee, just come out, would rub the stone, give it a kiss, and then be on her way. She drove a big Cadillac. So I always talk about the lady that can barely see over the steering wheel scenario. So anyways, 3 or 4 years later, she passes away. Okay. They're doing the graveside service. I'm off being respectful off in the distance, and the funeral director comes down and says, the son wants to speak to you. And I'm like, oh no,
You just gave me the chills.
I'm like, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah.
What did we not do? Because you
Yeah.
think worst case scenario,
Yep.
you're starting to formulate, all right, what can I explain? What is it going to be? What's the
Yeah.
problem? What's the solution that I can have? So you're already thinking worst case scenario. It's just like you would on an athletic field or something
Yeah.
like that. So I get up there, and the son comes over to me, and I knew him. He was
Yeah.
a former leader in the city, and he shook my hand. He goes, I just want to thank you.
Oh, so sweet.
And I'm like, okay, everything looks good. Everything, because normally I don't go up.
Yeah.
I keep my distance till everybody's gone. And he goes, no, I just want to thank you very much for the impact you had on my mom.
Oh, so sweet.
And I was like, well, okay. And he goes, there were days you were the only person she talked to.
Wow.
And I was like, what? And he started crying. And
Yeah.
that made I started to tear up because I'm like, it didn't really impact
Yeah.
me until that moment.
Yeah.
Just that day-to-day, hey, how's it going? Nice day. Not thinking anything of it, just doing my job.
Yep.
And just being that person, being a representative of the city.
Wow.
And it really impacted me a lot. And I
So
didn't realize
touching,
just the little things make a big difference. And I try to instill that on employees that I work with. I don't
Yeah.
say they work for me. I work with them.
Mhm.
We work together. And I say that every little impact you do could make a difference to somebody, whether it's doing the extra, trimming or mowing, or just don't ignore a person.
Yeah.
If it looks like they want to talk to you, then be friendly.
Yeah.
You might not have the answer, but you don't know the impact that you're going to make with that person.
Wow. That's really, really powerful.
And I was blown away. And so to this day, I mean, I could start a chapter off just on that,
Yeah.
the Mrs. Harriman story.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. And it really is like, grounds managers, groundskeepers are building this set where everyone's life story is taking place. Like I just said, so much of my life is spent in these venues or
Yeah.
these sets that people like yourself have really set the stage for. And it's one of those things that we take for granted all the time, that we have. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and we have these beautiful metro parks. And when I think about what would keep me in Cleveland, Ohio, of course there's family, of course there's a job, but really it's the fact that when I need to go and touch grass and feel the breeze on my face, I have limitless options.
Yes.
And how that really, that is my day to day. It's what keeps me fueled and fired up.
Yeah. And every day when I go into my job, and I really don't consider it a job because I love my job. I enjoy it. I've been doing it for so long. I mean, like I said, I'm 52 now, so 37 years I've been doing something with the Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And the light is coming closer at the end of the tunnel than what, is behind me now. But I go in every day, there's no box.
Yeah.
You blow up the box.
I love
and you don't have any limitations, and you have to be open to whatever's going to come your way. And I mean, like the speaker before, David Millar, was talking about challenges in life. You have to think there's always somebody else that's got it worse and somebody that's always got it better than you.
Yeah.
And so no matter what type of day you're having, it's always going to be different for somebody else. So you have to try to be able to adjust, pivot, deal with a cemetery visitor 1 minute, and the next minute you're dealing with a sports team, one of the sports teams at the high school because they want this done or something. I mean, so you're having to change all the time. So you have to be open-minded, willing to take most of it's good days, but be able to handle the challenges of a not so good day. Or an emotional time with a cemetery visitor, and then now I got to put on my happy face and go deal with a little league or something at a meeting about what to do with their fields or something like that. So that's what I love about my job is you're able to transition and move on from one thing to the next, but you build off of every experience that you have.
Definitely.
Yep.
And how have you advocated for yourself or for your crew to kind of have that seat at the table when the table is changing every minute? It's one day you might be talking about landscape at the cemetery, the next it's waterfront maintenance, and then the next it's new playground equipment.
Yeah.
How do you guys stay equipped with all those different things that are on your plate to be able to speak to the challenges and what your crew may need?
It starts with hiring a diverse crew, first off. Are we going to solve every problem? No. That's, you can't. Can you control certain situations? Yes. But there's some things that are out of your control. So it's kind of like a rainstorm. You can't, in what they were saying earlier, you can't control the weather, but I can bring an umbrella, I can wear a rain jacket, and I can make the most of it and do the best that I can.
I love it.
And so that's what we try to do. I try to hire a diverse crew, age-wise, gender-wise, people that bring different skill sets that, they may be able to take the lead on a project, and I may say, hey, Chris, for example, Chris, why don't you do this? Because you seem to have a good knowledge on this, and I'll let you pick who you want to work with you, and you kind of take the lead on this. Here are some of the expectations just to give you a baseline. But you got the foundation, now you build the house.
Yeah.
And make it your own. And I think when you let the part-time crew and full-time crew have some ownership in things,
Yes.
It's amazing to see how their growth happens. And they want input. They want to be validated. They want value. They want to get something more out of it than just the hourly wage and just, it's a job for the summer.
Yep.
You really want to.
Your job for the summer became your career.
It has. My plan B became my plan A.
I love it.
And that's what I want. I want people you want to keep retention, but I know the job is not going to allow that. If I can get a kid that comes in high school, works through college because they stay locally, great. That's a win for me.
Bonus,
and hopefully I can mix in from year to year newer staff that learn from that staff person what a great place it is, the value of it, the enjoyment of it, just the variety of things, whether it's helping with the playground construction or just maintenance on a playground, to doing something at one of the cemeteries and having an interaction with the cemetery visitor, or down on the waterfront and somebody comes over and says, you guys are doing a great job. And I'm like, you got to appreciate the compliments, because most times you're going to get complaints, because usually in society, that's what happens nowadays. So cherish those moments.
Yes, the compliments. We were talking about that earlier, the ability to accept a compliment and how difficult that can be sometimes.
Yeah, and I enjoy working, as I said earlier, I work with them, and I literally do work with them. I could sit behind a desk if I want and push papers and look important and look busy, but I want to make progress. And so in order to make that progress, I can look busy, but if I have progress in being busy, that's a win-win. So working with the guys, I get to know the crew. I get to know, okay, I can give this person a lead on something. That's how that comes about. And then they know me, and they don't look at me as the boss. They just look at me as DJ. He's mowing down here at the cemetery. He doesn't have to be doing that, but he's working with us. Yeah. And they buy into it more. And now they say, well, if he's doing it, I better step up my game and keep going, because he's been doing this forever. So you want to, and then you have to have a sense of humor on everything. Yeah. We do some fun things. You got to blow off some steam. When times it gets stressful, I see those situations. I'm like, okay, let's go do this. Let's do something easy. Let's do something that's a little more carefree. So you have to have variety. You have to have balance, because you don't want people stressed out. You don't want people anxious. You don't want people depressed. You don't want people hating the job. Yeah. You want them to really enjoy it and make it a positive experience. And I still have people that come back 10, 15 years from when they've worked here just to come in and visit and say how they missed the job. And I'm like, you're up building nuclear subs. You miss mowing and doing an infield on a Little League field? Oh, yeah, I loved it. Those are simpler times now, So it's great to have people come back and then for the crew to see that. Yes. Yeah. They see, this is a cool job. Yeah. I like this job, so it's fun.
Well, now I'm very intrigued on your turf family tree, because that's one of my favorite things. Like when I was with Rick Peruzzi.
Oh, Rick, yes.
In South Portland, his tree was incredible, and Ryan Bajorn was on his tree.
Yes. Yeah.
Any big names we know that have been on your tree?
Well, Rick.
Matt Tobin is on your tree.
Let's not tell him that. I love Matt. Matt is a wonderful guy. I've known Matt for a very long time. He knew our former director, Ken Hanscom, because Matt, coming from Dexter, not too far, about a half hour away from where I am. Great guy, wonderful to deal with, always been very helpful. I'm just a small fish in a big pond, but he treats me like I'm a big fish in that pond. I really appreciate everything that he's done and will continue to do.
Yeah.
And we've just always had a really good relationship, and I enjoy that. And as you mentioned, the turf god Rick Peruzzi of South Portland. So I really enjoy Rick. Rick's a no bones about it guy. We've talked a few times and stuff, and I love his outlook on things.
Yes.
You have to hold the line, but you can bend that line a little bit. But you got to stay true to who you are and what your vision is of what the expectations are. And I always like that. And yet he's old school, but he's also forward thinking, which I like. And then you mentioned also Ryan Bjorn. He's an Old Town guy. So 15 minutes away is where he grew up. Took part in some of our recreation programs in Brewer when he was young.
So cool.
So it's nice to know that. And his mother has worked in the southern part of the state for Parks and Rec down there. So he's on my family tree. There's another guy who's no longer a vendor, John Worthley. He worked for Sports Fields for many years, does golf courses, athletic fields. He was a very impactful when I first took over the job as superintendent. Any questions I had, just like Matt, they would answer. They were very helpful. And that's how I kind of got, you should go to this conference. Or so they gave me ideas and, hey, you want to go talk to this person? Because they'd been around, and I value that. So you want to learn from, as you say, your turf management family tree, whether it's a vendor or somebody, that works at, whether it's the Patriots or South Portland Parks and Rec at Wainwright Complex. I mean, you can learn so much.
I love it. Well, DJ, I really appreciate you joining us today. And like I said, I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
Oh, the dentist is worse.
I appreciate your time, and I'm glad we were able to connect today. And like I said, if you're in Matt's, radar, I'm sure he'll drag you into this in the future.
Oh, I'm sure he'll try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Meg.